Hello, welcome to the fourth lesson of the beginning class of Crochet Corner. Learning to crochet one stitch at a time. Thank you so much. You've gotten this far. I hope your project is done and we are going to finish it up today by hiding the ends. This is so exciting. Remember our tips for crocheting. The basic tips to keep in mind are practice makes progress. Keep those stitches loose. The goal for the beginner is to practice for uniform stitches. I love to think about where we can get yarn. Maybe you have an agricultural fair near your house like I do, and they usually have some sheep where you can see how they shear the sheep and then how they actually make the yarn. At our fair where I live, they have a sheep shearing contest, and they also do a whole tent where people will show you how they can clean the yarn or the wool, and then another place they're going to spin the wool. So it's very fascinating. It's a great hobby to get into. And if you're in the country, you can see that, hey, nowadays you can even go online and check it out. How does this process work? It's a great thing to learn how to do. Then you can get yarn or fiber from many different types of animals. Alpacas, rabbits, and you can also get, you guessed it, the acrylic yarn that is made in a factory. There's also another kind of fiber, and that would be the cotton. And cotton, as you may know, is grown. So you can pick the cotton and also turn that into yarn as well. So there's lots of different places where people can get yarn. And I actually, maybe I'll make a new class about this also, but you can crochet a plastic mat out of plastic grocery bags. So I've done that before. You cut them up and you make plastic yarn, and we call it plarn. And you roll it all up in a ball, and then you can crochet. You could make like a doormat. You could use a mat for maybe camping or something, or maybe to put by the pool for people to wipe their feet. And I have a friend of mine that she actually makes large mats to give to homeless people, and they can lay on that. So that's not a really good thought to think about, being homeless, but it's nice that you can do something for someone kind of interesting like that. It's a great way to recycle. Okay, so let's get going on the final steps to finishing this dishcloth. And these principles apply to finishing any project. It always is exciting to get to this step. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Do you have your square? Okay, you might have a dishcloth, or maybe you're making a square for another reason. I don't know. I'm assuming dishcloth, but I have a few here. I have this one. I have this yellow one. And I also have this pretty blue one. Oh my goodness, I love this one. This one is a little smaller than the other ones. I only did 20 stitches, 20 chains when I first started, and I believe these are 30. So you can see you can make them different sizes depending on what you prefer. And I have this much left, so I know I can at least make one more dishcloth out of this. And so I really like this pattern. It looks really pretty, and look at how it looks when you've got, this is called variegated yarn, where you've got one skein of yarn, but it's different colors. That's kind of cool. And so what you're going to do is, when you have the last stitch is going to be a chain. Well, actually I did not chain one to turn it. I just left it as the single crochet. You're going to pull that loop out, and then you're going to cut it at the end of that loop. Okay, these are my fancy scissors, shaped like a bird. They're really cute. They're small and they go in my bag, and they're kind of unique so people know they're my sewing scissors, or my, they're for darning. They're not really for sewing, but. And now you're going to take the end connected to the ball and you're just going to pull it through. Now if I leave it like this, it might come undone. So the next thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need a darning needle, okay? This is plastic. They also have metal ones. And you can order like a whole bunch of them on Amazon. I ordered like 100 of these because you're going to need extras because they are really easy to lose. So I have a couple here. I also have a metal one, but I can't find it at the moment. So what you're going to do is you're going to thread this needle. And you can tell it's a bigger eye, but it's not tiny. So what I like to do is kind of flatten the yarn. You can even lick it like that. You're going to flatten it and then you're going to push it through the eye of the needle. Or you can twist it like this. That kind of makes it smaller too and makes it all stick together. There we go. So that worked. So you do want to leave a little bit of a tail so that you can hide the ends, okay? So the general rule is you're going to kind of weave it into your project. You don't really want to see where you've woven it. Now, since I have varying colors, I'm going to try to keep it in the light blue section. And you're just going to kind of put it in. And the rule I've always heard is you go 2 inches forward and 1 inch back. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put my needle underneath the stitches in places where you might not even see. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 inches forward, and like you can see that I'm not pulling it out all the way. I'm just going to wait until I get all the way 2 inches. Okay, now I'm going to pull it through. Okay, and then, and don't pull it tight because you don't want to make this, you don't want to pull it like that. You want to leave it just loose enough to be in your project. And then you're going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, and just kind of hide it. I'm going all the way back. That might be a little more than 1 inch. And now you can cut it as far down as you want to. Now the idea is you're not going to see any ends. But you know if you've gone 2 inches forward, 1 inch back, that it's not going to come undone. So that is one of the tails hidden. Okay, now I have the other tail. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to thread the needle. And this is called hiding your ends. Now, for this blanket behind me, it's a big granny square, and I changed colors a lot, and I had to cut a lot of ends. So I had a lot of ends to hide. So in a big project like that, you don't have to wait until the end of the project. You could hide a couple of ends, every few rows or something. Okay, so this is white. So now you can even go like this so you can be sure that it's not going to come undone. You do want it to be pretty sturdy. Okay, so you're going to make sure that it goes the other direction, and now I can cut it off. Okay, so that is hiding your ends. If you're making a blanket, you really want to be careful that you're hiding it really well. If you're making a dishcloth, not as majorly crucial, but there you have it. So, what do you think? Now, it may be a little easier for me because I've done this a lot. Okay, if it takes you a little longer, that's okay. That's what happens, you know, when it's something new. But it won't take you long to figure out how to do it. Now, there is another way that you can hide your ends by crocheting around them, but that's more of an advanced skill. So this would be how, when you're a beginner, that's the best way to do it. And like I said, on this blanket, I hid all my ends, but I also know I could have just kind of crocheted them into my project. All right, so there you go. You're done. Congratulations. Excellent. Okay, so now you can go on and watch the rest of the video. Here's something fun. Have you ever heard of yarn bombing? Let me show you what I mean. I thought it would be fun to talk about something. Yarn bombing. Have you ever heard of yarn bombing? B-O-M-B. Like, here's some yarn. Actually, June 10th, 2023 was National Yarn Bombing Day. So I want to show you a little bit about what that means, and you can kind of look that up yourself for more information. Basically, yarn bombing is taking your yarn and making things and like covering trees, poles, any kind of things in, it could be in the city, it could be at a park, and they're showing up everywhere like some kind of psychedelically colorful mushroom that grows sock-like over surfaces like trees, scaffolding, even bike racks. Somewhere, somehow, these normal everyday objects have suddenly become ensconced in an odd woolly growth in amazing patterns. The skill varies widely from incredibly new to fantastically intricate. The thickness of the yarn from pencil lead thin to thick as the pencil itself. Okay, we talked about thickness of yarn, like 1 would be a lace and all the way up to 7, which would be a very thick jumbo yarn. And you can learn about National Yarn Bombing Day. So you can celebrate it yourself maybe next year when you know how to do projects a little bit better. You can maybe make a plan and go to your park. It would take a lot of work. Some of these projects are extremely intricate. So we're going to look under images and we're going to find some pictures of yarn bombing. This is crazy. Look at that. Whoops. I don't want... Okay, here we go. Oh, that's a pattern you can get on Etsy. Look at that. All around the trees. That would take a long time. I think you would have to prepare ahead of time. Or maybe that's just a picture. Handmade greeting card. Okay, that's what that is. So, oh, here's some awesome pictures. Look at that. Yarn bombing. It is really cool. People that love knitting or crocheting, I guess crocheting. I've seen pictures of people that just take their crochet hook and just make stuff on the trees. Look at that. Here's a tree. So that is yarn bombing. I think I've seen that they can do it in parks, cities. I guess city would be the most exciting because you get the more people to actually see it. But if you get some people and they just put really cool patterns all over the trees with yarn, that is yarn bombing. Do you remember the simple crochet terms that we used in this lesson? SC. Single crochet. C. Crochet. ST. Stitch. S or CH1. Chain 1. ST. Stitch. SP. What was that one? Space. REP. Repeat. Very good. Don't forget, practice makes progress. Okay, in this lesson, we are going to have a bonus lesson. All right. Now, I'm going to start you out on this lesson, and you're going to have to finish it up on your own. But I am going to show you how to make a circular dishcloth. And you're going to use some of the same techniques that you've already learned. Here we go. Hello. This is the last video of the beginning series for Crochet Corner, learning to crochet one stitch at a time. And as promised, I have a bonus video. Thank you so much for taking this class. I hope you liked it, and look forward to more classes in the future. And hopefully we'll be able to set up a live crocheting club. That would be really awesome. It's really fun to meet up with other like-minded people and to work together on a project. And if you do have any questions about anything, you can ask me during that time. I know that there are a lot of videos online about crocheting, but I thought this would be really fun to do as a class and kind of bring out some fun ideas and thoughts about crocheting. So in the future videos, I hope to tell some inspirational yarn stories, crocheting stories, maybe even some knitting stories, and people that crochet and knit all over the world, and they have down through time. Many different materials, many different ways. But as promised, we have our bonus video, and we are going to learn how to make a circular dishcloth. So here we go. So we're going to start with a chain circle. So you're going to start with your slip knot. Most projects do start with a slip knot. And remember not to make it too tight. And then I'm going to ask you to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then we are going to join this stitch with the first stitch, and we're going to put the hook inside that last stitch. We are going to yarn over, and then we're going to pull through both stitches. So now we only have one stitch left. Now this has a little circle in it right there, and you are going to you're going to do some half double crochet into that circle. We're going to try to make about 10. If you can make 10, that would be great. So that was a slip stitch when you just go in, grab the thing and come through. Starting at the circle. Okay, I joined the top stitch with the bottom stitch, and now I'm going to chain 2 for my first half double crochet. Now when I do a half double crochet, I'm going to go over, in, yarn over, yarn over. Now I'm going to pull it through all 3. Okay, so yarn over, in the hole, pull it through, pull through all 3. So that counts as 3. So the first chain stitch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that's my last one. And now I'm going to join with a slip stitch at the top of that chain 2. I'm going to go into the stitch. It's kind of like in the middle of that stitch. Then you grab the yarn, go through the loop. Okay, and now I have a circle. That is going to be the middle of my dishcloth. All right, and now I'm going to chain 2. Okay, and I'm going to turn the project. Now I'm going to 2 half double crochet in next stitch and then 1. So I'm going to go 1, I'm going to go to the next one because right underneath this one isn't the one I want. I want the next one. So half double crochet, 1, and then what I'm going to do, because the circle is going to get bigger, I do 1, 2. I do 2 in the same hole. Then I do another, I go to the next hole and I do 1 half double crochet. Go to the next hole, I do 2 half double crochet. 1, 2. And I'm going to do this all the way around. That's going to increase the size of my circle. It's gotten unwrapped. All right, so here you have it. So my circle is getting a little bigger. So this whole row is going to be, I'm going to use my little text box here. 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and repeat to the end of the row. So that's what we're doing right now. And you're going into that hole. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Now you could use this as the center of a flower. I don't know if you can hear my birds, but they're pretty loud this morning. So I do 2 and then 1. And that time my yarn did split, so you don't want to do that. So I'm going back again. And as you can see, I kind of, when you're at the beginning of something like this, it's a little bit difficult and it takes a little more time to just make sure that you have it set up. And once you get through the first 3 or 4 rows, you're like gonna be able to go a little faster. But this is half double crochets. Let's see, 2 and then 1. 2. And then I'm back to my chain, which is like kind of like a half double crochet. So now I'm going to join with the next, with that chain row, I'm going to do a slip stitch, which means I just went in, yarn over, and then pulled it together. And now I have a circle, and it looks like I'm on the next row. So that's row 1 and row 2. Row 3, two half double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we're going to do this again. So chain 2, turn, and then do, you know, it's really kind of it's not an exact science. So if you look at it and you think, oh, I really need another half double crochet in that hole, just do it. You're kind of adding 1 every other hole, okay? So we're adding 1 every other hole. So you do 2 in 1, 1 in the next one, 2 in 1, 1 in the next one, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And the cool thing about crocheting, I was going to say, I wanted to talk a little bit about why learn to crochet. You know, some people have a natural desire to work with fiber arts. I mean, I've taught knitting online, and I've seen some people hate it and some people absolutely love it. So some people just have a natural inclination. They just want to do knitting or crocheting or some type of work with fiber arts. Some people, maybe they need a reason. one of the reasons I wanted to take up knitting and crocheting is because I even as a young person I was thinking, hey, if I am old and I don't have anything to do, I want to have a skill. And usually something like crocheting, you're not going to learn when you're 65. Usually people say, "Oh, I don't crochet," or "Yes, I crochet." They don't normally take up a skill like that. So if you learn it when you're young, and then hey, you're busy, you don't really do a lot with it, you know? But then as you get older, your 50s and 60s, and you want to make something for a grandchild or a neighbor, you have a skill, and all you have to do is kind of pull it out of the hat. That was kind of one of my thoughts. I think it's a good skill to meet up with people and just sit and chat and have something to do. If I like to have something to do when I have to wait in a waiting room or something like that, or when I'm driving on a trip, I like to have something to do. So, what are your reasons? I don't know. I mean, everybody has different outlook on things, but here's my next row. And sometimes you have to kind of straighten it out a little bit. And at the end, a dishcloth, you don't usually do what you call blocking. But say you're making a sweater or something, sometimes you have to shape it. And there's a way to do that as well. So the next row, we're going to chain one, turn two, in one, one. Okay, so we're going to do 2 half double crochet, then 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So now we're going to be doing, I'm going to chain, it says chain 1, but I'm actually chaining 2. So you can do 1 half double crochet, and then you can do 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then you do 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. So you're increasing, you're doing 2 singles and then a double. Well, not 2 singles, but 1 half double crochet twice, and then 2 half double crochets in the next one. So as it gets bigger, you're not doing double dipping as many times. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Now, I'm not going to do the entire project on this video, but if you would like to see where I got this pattern, Joe 2, maybe it's Joe 2, joe2theworld.com, and it has 8 rounds on this. And for round 5, you're going to chain 1, 2 half double crochet, and then 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then you're going to do 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet in the next 4 stitches, and you can leave it like that. You could just keep going like that in that pattern and end it, or you could put a border on it like you saw in some of my sunflower type dishcloths. You could make it into a flower if you want, or you could just end it as a circular pattern. It could be you could make it small like this and just end it, make it a coaster. And there are lots of ways that you can make this into something awesome. So I hope you like this bonus video. Let me know what you think, and I hope to see you in the next class. Great job and happy crocheting. What's next? I can't wait to make some more projects with you. Please check out my upcoming classes. Stay tuned for an in-person or live chat group with other crocheters just like you. Okay, I'm going to be having one coming up, and you can chat about your current project. We'll crochet together, or you can share about your goals for the future. I hope to see you soon. I hope to see you live soon, right? Maybe you want to make a hat or a scarf or a shawl. Maybe you want to make a blanket or a doll. So hopefully I'll be able to see you in the next chat group. And you could also come with questions. If you have any questions about any types of things that you're working on and you need some help with it, come to the chat group. And if you ask a question, I'm sure you will be helping others too. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking this class. I am just so excited. You finished it. You finished it. Great job. I would love to know what you did with your dishcloth that you made. Are you planning on making more? I hope so. And I hope the people around you enjoy gifts as you can give them out to each other. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and it's goodbye for now. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.